All right, everybody, how's it going? It is Friday, September 4th, 2020, and of course, we've already uploaded the AFC South predictions, so might as well get started here on the NFC South and get going on those. We already know how this format's going to go. We gave the AFC South from 2019, then we gave our thoughts on who's going to win the AFC South. Of course, it was the Colts, followed by the Titans, Texans, and Jaguars. So far, the Titans, they're not a playoff team. Depending on how the rest of the AFC goes, we'll see if they slot in. Colts are, of course, going to be in the playoffs, as you know, they won the division. So let's look at the NFC South from 2019. In fourth place was the Carolina Panthers. They had all the problems at quarterback with Cam, and then Kyle Allen wasn't that good. So their offense had weird problems. Their defense wasn't that good. Kind of a mess overall. Then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they struggled with Jameis Winston throwing 30 interceptions and having like 6 fumbles for like a 36 turnovers total, and like their defense, their secondary was kind of trash due to like a lot of bad starting field position, a lot of like just inopportune situations, a lot of time on the field. So the Tampa kind of struggled with that. Plus, Jameis just wasn't that good last year. And then you have the Falcons, again, another team that that should be doing better than what they have the last few years. They seem like they're a better team. They're hard to bet on. They're hard to figure out. Nobody knows what they're going to be year in and year out. They're super inconsistent. They're very injury prone too. The Falcons are. They seem to be one of the most injury prone teams in football. Their defense, everybody gets hurt, and then their offense, a bunch of players get hurt. So we'll see if they maybe got rid of those guys. Maybe they have like healthier players, a better training plan, a little bit more luck this season to get back on their the swing of things that the Falcons usually do. And then, of course, the Saints kind of dominated the division last year, even when they lost Drew Brees for 6 games. Teddy Bridgewater somehow stepped in and won 6, so it's like... Sorry, I had to get a drink there. But yeah, so Bridgewater even just stepped in and just kind of led the team to 6 straight wins, which got him a job for division rival Carolina, which is kind of funny. And the Saints should be favorites to re-win this division. They got a little better with Emmanuel Sanders. We'll go over how we think this division plays out. The Bucs are certainly interesting. This is a very interesting division because, of course, Brady now plays there. Bridgewater is at quarter. Cam's gone. Bridgewater. You have Breeze, Brady, Matt Ryan. You have 3 really good quarterbacks, 3 pretty good offenses in one division, some good defenses. It's going to be interesting to see how this one plays out, who we think wins. Unfortunately, there is going to be, one team that suffers because of you have 3 really powerful teams. Did I forget to change that? All right, it's supposed to say NFC South predictions at the top. Just ignore that. So this is for, this is how I predict it's going to play out this year. So in fourth place, I think it's going to be the Carolina Panthers at 6-10. They of course, they had some pretty big losses: Cam Newton, Greg Olsen, Eric Reed, Bruce Irvin, James Bradbury, Gerald McCoy, Greg Van Roten, Luke Kuechly, who retired, Trey Turner. They lost quite a few like key players and like guys that were kind of like franchise players for them, and very good defenders in Reed, Irvin, Bradbury, McCoy. Obviously Luke Kuechly was the like front and center of their defense. Of course, they did add in. They got a new quarterback in Teddy Bridgewater, Robbie Anderson. They got Russell Okung in the Trey Turner trade. Eli Apple, Tahir Whitehead. They drafted Derek Brown and Yetur Gross-Matos. They got in Farrell Cooper, Zach Kerr, and Justin Burris. So they did add in some good players, some decent names overall, I guess. I don't know so much about Cooper, Kerr, and Burris. I know Cooper's all right, so I like my main problem with the Panthers for this season is I don't know what I feel like their offense is going to be just fine. I think they can still score 20 to 30 points a game. They're going to have a pretty competent offense with Teddy B at quarterback, Christian McCaffrey. They're a competent offense. They lost a lot on defense, including their the heart and soul of their defense in Luke Kuechly. I don't think Tahir Whitehead, Yetur Gross-Matos, Derek Brown, Eli Apple are the guys that are going to replace Luke Kuechly. You just don't replace that. And I didn't see where they drafted a guy that's going to be like that new guy of the defense, the new the heart and soul of it. If they could have gotten Isaiah, if they could have gotten the kid from the kid the Cardinals got, that would have been like a big, that would have been a pretty good helper for them. But they wound up I'm not buying what the Panthers are selling this year. I could be proven wrong about their defense, but I feel like that defense is going to cost them a lot of games, especially in the division that they're playing in, with the Falcons, the Bucs, and the Saints all poised to have big offenses. So yeah, that's why I have them at 6-10 in last place. Then I have the Falcons at 8-8. They lost Devonta Freeman, Desmond Trufant, Austin Hooper, Vic Beasley, Adrian Claiborne, Jack Crawford, Matt Bosher, the punter. So I put the punter on there because I just thought it was funny the punter left. But losing Trufant, Vic Beasley, Claiborne, those are pretty big defenders. Hooper and Devonta Freeman, those kind of get like offset because they added in Todd Gurley, Laquan Treadwell, another talented receiver to go along with Ridley and Julio Jones. Very good. Hayden Hurst, Dante Fowler, DeJuan Buchanan, Darqueze Dennard. They drafted A.J. Terrell and Marlon Davidson. Not really sure who those guys are, but they're pretty good draft picks. I don't bet on the Falcons. I'll be very honest with you and all of Falcons Nation and anyone who supports this team. I no longer fuck with this team because I always get it wrong. I'm gonna predict 500. Hey, it's safe. I don't know what the Falcons are. The Falcons fans don't know what they are. The team doesn't know what it is until they start playing football. And I don't even know if week to week the Falcons know who they are. So remains to be seen. I don't know about this team. I have no idea what's going to happen. On paper, they're a great team, but on paper, they're a great team almost every year. So I don't really know how this plays out. Plus, I don't know about Gurley. His knees might still be arthritic. We don't know how he's going to recover. So that remains to be a little seen. Still should be a good team, though. I don't know. Nobody does. Nobody knows. Let's go to second place. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yep, I know. Shocker. The biggest Tom Brady fan in the world doesn't have Tom Brady's new team winning the division. They're going to be a wild card team. I know I didn't I just said I wasn't going to pick wild card teams. I did say, though, I will pick a wild card team if it's clearly like they're going to be in the playoffs. There's only been like 2 or 3 teams to not make the playoffs with an 11-5 record. So I think it's safe to say this is going to be a wild card team. One of the 7 will be the Bucs. 11-5 for the Bucs. I think they. So we'll see how that plays. We'll see what the Saints' record is. I think their key losses, of course, were Jameis Winston. You lose your franchise quarterback. They lost Peyton Barber, Rashad Perriman, Carl Nassib, and Andrew Adams, and DeMar Dotson. Whatever. They added in Tom Brady, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, Joel Haig, pretty good lineman from the Colts. Tristan Wirfs, Antoine Winfield, and Keyshawn Vaughn were guys they drafted. Pretty good draft picks. We know their offense is probably going to be really good after a few games, right? Once they get the chemistry and they get a couple games under and they know how they're going to play. Brady throwing to Evans, to Godwin, or to Goodwin, Godwin, sorry. To Gronk, to OJ Howard, to Cameron Brate, to Keyshawn Vaughn, to just the whole situation is set up to be like designed for Tom Brady, right? This is good. Like they have good little offensive linemen. The lines aren't that different between New England and Tampa Bay last year. So if it's a little bit better, it'll be good for Tampa. They had one of the better rush defenses last year. I know their pass defense was awful, but a lot of times you have to look at why it was. They'd be put into weird field positions. They'd be gassed. Jameis would get the ball back and then turn it over in 2 throws. The defense would have to play at like the 30. They'd throw a touchdown. It's kind of one of those situations where I feel like the interceptions were more of part of why that defense wasn't as good as it could have been last year. So I think having Brady, who will cut down on the amount of turnovers by a dramatic amount, by at least 18, I would imagine. This is crazy. I could just throw out 18, and that's like it still puts him at 12. It's going to be a better offense. It's going to be an elite offense. It's going to be a pretty good defense, and that's why I have him up here. I think with Brady, with Bruce Arians, that's going to be hard to stop. The defense is going to be difficult. That secondary is very suspect, so we'll see how that plays out. That's why I have them losing a few games. I think they're going to struggle out of the gate to find chemistry, but as soon as like week 3 or 4 rolls around, you're going to be dealing with a juggernaut that might not lose again. Maybe 1 or 2 along the way, but they're going to be very hard to beat after about that 4th week. If not after the 5th week, almost unstoppable. So good luck with Tampa. You want to get them early if you can play them. That's my prediction. They go 11-5. And then we have to look to these New Orleans Saints. they didn't lose much. They lost Teddy Bridgewater, who went over to, but they lost their backup. They lost Zach Lyon, Larry Warford, pretty decent offensive lineman, Eli Apple, and Von Bell. Saints didn't really lose much. That's another reason why I'm like, hey, this team really kind of kept a lot of their like key pieces here. They're probably going to re-win the division. I also have them at 11-5. Same records, but I think New Orleans somehow edges it out, and like different head-to-head wins. They may sweep the division, whereas minus one game with Tampa, whereas the Buccaneers might fall to the Falcons once or something. It's going to be something like that gives the Saints the division. Just like a head-to-head game where the Bucs lost and the Saints won that. Could be a game against like the NFC North. Hell, it could be like because they play the Lions. Like, what if the Lions somehow beat the Buccaneers, and the Saints beat them like they should? That could be the reason that the division goes to the Saints instead of the Bucs. I think that's how it can break down, like head-to-head matchups, and that's how it's gonna screw the Bucs out of it. So. Anyway, again, Teddy Bridgewater, Lyon, Warford, Eli Apple, and Von Bell is who they lost. They added in quite a good cache of players, I would say. They added in Jameis as a backup, Ty Montgomery, Emmanuel Sanders, Anthony Chiquillo, Malcolm Jenkins, Nigel Bradham. They drafted Cesar Ruiz, Zach Bond. Those are two really good picks. Zach Bond, very good pick. Adam Trautman as well. I'm not really sure about him, but again, I think the Saints added in a lot for their team. They're going to be better on offense. Their defense, to me, has always been suspect for some reason. I don't trust it. I know that it has moments, but there are a lot of moments where it's not that good as well. So, I don't know. I feel like this is going to be a very competitive division. It's going to be, they have a little bit harder. I think they're playing the NFC North this year, and I forgot what division they're playing in the. They're playing the AFC West, so they got to play the Chiefs and the Raiders, the Chargers, and the Broncos. So they have a decent schedule. I don't know. I feel like this feels good. I like the Saints to win the division, Bucks, Falcons, and then Panthers, as you can see here. I feel like this is a good NFC South. So this is my playoff picture then. So far, the Colts, because we haven't done any other AFC, they're still just the number one seed. They're the only team that has a playoff record. And then in the NFC, right now, the Saints would be the number one seed. And right now, Tampa, again, I said I wasn't going to really do wild cards until after I get all the divisions figured out. But Tampa Bay, 11-5, they're making the playoffs. So even if they're the 7th seed, they're going to be in the playoffs with that record. So this is so far what I have. Again, I have the Saints winning the division. I have Tampa in second, the Falcons at 8-8, and then at 6-10, the Carolina Panthers. Again, if you want to know why, just re-listen to the video. Yeah, so far those are my predictions for the AFC and NFC South. So you got both of those videos today. You'll also see the AFC West and NFC West predictions videos coming out later today. So yeah, let me know what you think down below. Those are my AFC or NFC West or NFC South predictions. Hopefully those are good to you. I think they're all right. Yeah, so let me know what you think down below. I'll be sure to get back to you. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video and you're new. Both those things help grow the channel, and they're free to do, so might as well. But anyway, thank you again so much for listening. I hope you enjoyed the video. Stay tuned for more NFL content. It's almost time. Literally 6 days. Are you ready? Are you? Yeah, I'm not going to do the DX thing, but are you ready? I am. Go Patriots. Go Lions. Peace.